Slow down, breathe deeply, reconnect with yourself and the universe.
Well, hello, everybody. I'm sorry that there is no Rift intro there because I could not find it. So I don't know if it was changed, but it's definitely not labeled over there. So welcome to the Cosmic Cushion Podcast. I'm Susan.
And I'm Linda. Good to see you guys. Thanks for coming.
So anybody that comes in before or after, this is a very heartfelt topic is what it is today. And again, this will probably take more than one show, but what we're going to be speaking on is addiction. So addiction, how to recognize it, addiction help, but there are so many forms of addiction here. We have alcohol, drugs, shopping. Okay. Cigarettes, guilty. Caffeine, believe it or not, is an addiction. Guilty. I mean, there are so many different types of addiction that you can't really just categorize it as a substance abuse. It really is a form of mental or physical escape from reality because that's what we're trying to do. A lot of individuals, when they go through the addiction, they're escaping. They're not looking at the root cause. And did you know that certain people, there are different levels on it? It's in my my Reiki book. What it is there are certain chakras that are affected deeply and really do cause people to continue with the addiction process. So, did
I
you
didn't
know
I didn't
that?
know that about the chakras, no.
Yeah,
No. But I'm not
yeah,
surprised.
yeah. It's usually the sacral and the solar plexus, sometimes the root, but mostly the two ones below the bottom chakra is the one that gets affected most. But every chakra can be affected.
Yeah.
So, depending on what actually happens with addiction. I mean,
Yeah.
addiction can be something that is non-purposely hurts the family because the individual who's going through the addiction does not look at, like, they don't think about what they're doing to the people around them. They're just trying to get through what is
Right.
happening. And that's the hard part, especially for families,
Yeah,
because the
they they're
God,
not alone in it. I mean, they might think they are, but they are definitely not alone in it because the family cares about them and
right.
they're part of us. Yeah.
It's difficult. I mean, some addictions, it's, they can cause astronomical effects where people do pass away and have to use Nikon, or I think that's called Nikon or
Narcon?
something.
Narcon.
Nikon, yeah. They have to use something like that, or better yet, you have a shopping addiction and you turn around and the next thing you know, you and your family are homeless because you've pretty much spent all your credit cards on it. So it's pretty bad. And then you have a smoking addiction, could be do the same thing. You have an addiction to cigarettes. That is still an addiction because nicotine, we didn't know back when I started that nicotine was an addictive substance. Nobody knew that. So there are certain aspects of this where it can affect, like smoking can affect your health.
Mm-hmm.
The shopping addiction can, affect your wallet. What about hoarders? Do you
Yeah,
consider
that's really
hoarders people with an addiction? I do.
absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely, and they can't stop. I mean, it's really hard without them getting some kind of intervention and help to continue getting better.
Yeah. It's really difficult. Hey Heidi, how are you doing? I wish I could read what you're saying, but
Right.
can't even read
Oh, I
that
can
right
read it to you.
now.
I got it. She said hello and much love from Boulder, Colorado. Just got home and shared out. Thank
Thank
you. And
you.
then she also said she didn't know either about the chakras being affected, but she said that makes sense.
Yeah. It is. I mean, we'll have to do a show on chakras, and we can either we can add it to this show as well, because I literally, my Reiki manual is about kind of that big.
Oh my goodness.
Because when I teach Reiki, I teach about the chakras as well. Only because how to heal someone, that's Otis is barking because somebody's probably walking by my door. Yep, there
He's
goes the growl. Very
he's
protective, my boy. I'm not getting up. No, I'm not. Anyways, so so the chakras themselves, we're going to get into different forms of addiction and what family members can actually do to help. But no matter how much as a family that you want to help, they have to want to help themselves. And it's not that. Now this is something that's very personable to me. Not being the a person, well, besides smoking, but I literally was, um, I had a husband that died, and he had an addiction. He was an addict. So, but when I met him, he wasn't. So I've been through all that. So I'm on the outside looking in, and I understand for those that are on the outside looking in. So, yeah.
yeah.
So it's difficult because they will think you don't understand what it's about. It's not about that. And then a lot of individuals, depending on the addiction type, and again, jump in any time here when you want, and we'll get into some slides here and there, but a lot of individuals will automatically, the people that aren't dealing with the personal addiction and you're the family member, you're thinking, okay, a lot of times you will think, okay, they're choosing that over me. Why are you
That's
choosing
not
this
the
over
case.
me? But this is what you go through, especially
This is
like,
not.
right, especially
Yeah,
like with the family. Sometimes it's you deal with those things. It's like, as a couple, as far as me and a couple, it's like, okay, you're choosing that over me because, and this is what psychologically what you go through, but what are they going through psychologically?
yeah. So I've had quite a few family members that have been um, affected by different addictions, and yeah, we've lost people because of it
Yeah.
as well. And it's really difficult to sit back, but there's still, even in families, there's still a lot of controversy and arguments over whether they want to do it or they don't want to do it, and they don't love this person enough, and all those things keep coming up and
Yep.
coming up. And the truth is that, we're just starting to get to the bottom of this with medicine, and it's got a long way to go. And once they may have chosen to do this first, or the first few times, but once it gets a hold of them as an addiction, then it is so difficult for them to just stop. And if you've got something
No.
like alcohol or drug addiction, just to stop cold turkey, that could kill them.
Yep.
They need medical intervention at some point.
It really is. And it's the same thing with shopping or hoarding. It's like they don't have enough stuff. They don't have enough stuff. What's going on? What about extreme, we'll say extreme preppers. That's what we'll say. Okay, there's the extreme preppers will come in handy if we ever have an apocalypse, but literally and I'm not talking about regular preppers. I'm talking extreme preppers where they've got 50 million of the same thing. Okay,
And
and all
bunkers.
of like overflow of items that they do have, it's almost like a form of hoarding, but that affects people individually psychologically. So psychologically, they have to prepare for the worst case scenario. Like a normal person will say, okay, excuse me, not normal, but an average person will say, okay, I have the generator, I've got the water figured out. But an excessive prepper would want, like maybe 10 generators, three different types of water systems. What if this one comes? What if that one
Yeah.
comes? So we have all of these things happening within their own mind. It happens the same way. A lot of times, like a child, we'll say a child of an alcoholic. Okay. Now, a child of an alcoholic, like alcoholic couple will majority of the time psychologically think that it's normal for them to be like that. That's how they kind of grew up. So for them to break the cycle and not go into the alcoholism, or if they're seeing the effects of some type of drug, whether it's prescription or street, it's still a drug. This is
Right.
this is what I'm saying. It doesn't matter. You can get addicted to prescription drugs the same way. So my mind is jumping all over the place here right now.
Yeah, this could take us we could work on this for months
Yeah.
and still probably not cover everything.
So it's the mentality of choosing that over me. Yeah. And that's what it is. Some type of individuals will do that. And the problem is that once somebody like breaks the cycle, and again, I'm going to pick on myself because it's the only personal experience I do have, but I'm going to be talking about myself in the third person. So there you go. So say if an individual, met somebody, they got along good, there was no sign of any type of addiction. But as the relationship progressed, after kids comes the stress, comes this, all of a sudden that addiction they had years ago comes back. This is something that the other half isn't used to and wasn't aware of. They have no idea. So pretty much what psychologically we don't understand what the addictive person is thinking, but also how is it going to affect the individual, the couple, or the kids psychologically as well. So that's like a whole family type atmosphere that's
Right.
actually happening.
And so
Sometimes, yeah,
when they treat addictions, they will want to bring the whole family in because of those reasons, because the family dynamics will change and
right.
everybody's going to need help going through that. Um, yeah, the family is a big part of it. Uh,
Sometimes the individual with the addiction does not want the family around.
right. And I believe that's part of it. That's the isolation.
Yeah.
And they are really good at hiding it.
Yeah.
So I know a person who just had an alcohol incident, who ended up in the hospital and almost died, and nobody knew it was so bad. the
Exactly.
person the person had hit it so well. You do have weekend alcoholics, which I'm sure you guys know what that is,
Yep.
but
Functioning
there are people
alcoholics
that
as well.
there are people that are so good at hiding their addictions that, I used to have a problem with food, so I have to watch it and be really careful.
Mhm.
But when it was in full force, I would make cakes, hide them, and say that the kids ate them all. So there's only this little piece left. Fortunately, I did get some help, but yeah, it's we're really good at people, and I was really good at hiding that kind of stuff.
All right, hold on. Let's see what Heidi has to say here. So, yeah, my eye, I still don't have my new glasses, guys, and I've got these
I
skeleton
can
monkey
see.
skulls in the back of mine, so I don't know.
I can see if you want me to read it.
Please.
I found that if you watch this is from Heidi, if you watch
Yeah,
someone drown from addiction, you can only love them unconditionally. You can't save them. And
exactly.
that's true. I,
Exactly.
I
And
agree.
that's sometimes the hardest part for the individual on the outside looking in, because if this individual is the type that's like, okay, I say we'll take a healer. Say if somebody is a healer and they're used to healing somebody, whether it's physically or psychologically, and they're on the outside and they're looking and saying, okay, well, I can help this one, this one, this one, and this one. Why can't I help her? Or why can't I help him? What am I doing wrong? So you're putting it on yourself when it's not that. It's individuality. It's sometimes they have to want the help. It's like what did my grandmother used to, oh, my grandmother used to say, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink. That's what she used to
True.
tell me all the time. And that kind of fits that.
And
So
that's a good
yeah,
reason for the family members on the outside to get some support.
yeah,
And you can go to counseling. There's like I think groups like for Alcoholics Anonymous. They have one for their family, and the drug addictions, there's some for the family. And if you can't find those, sometimes it just helps to go and know that you're not alone and other people are going through this and hear what they're doing. But yeah, so get some help if you're listening and you've got a family member, because you need it. You need the therapy just as much as they do, because it affects you as well.
Yeah. Heidi, sometimes you need to release things. Everybody needs to have that ability to be able to release, and maybe there was still something in there that you needed to let go of. Tears are cleansing is what
Yes,
they
I
are.
believe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a very hard topic to deal with, and hard topic to talk about. And yeah, I've got slides and everything, but I right now it's just opening up for the topic, opening up
Mhm.
for, I mean, things that are happening. But yes, food addictions, makeup addictions, hair. There's all different kinds of addictions, and they all stem from psychological. Something is happening. A woman, we'll say that a woman or a young girl can be absolutely like beautiful and still think she's ugly and want to
Right.
hide it through either alcohol or shopping addiction or something else that stands out. And do they do this because they don't want anybody to see them? Or are they burying their own emotions? And that's what it is.
A
They,
lot of times,
yeah,
yeah. Yeah,
they're burying
definitely.
a lot of what's going on. And it's hard for both sides because now you have one side that the family is on the outside trying to understand what goes on and they can't. And then you have the person here that's not sharing, not expressing, and not willing to help, or I don't have an issue, or I don't have a problem, is what they usually say. Let's see.
Hi, Lois. Heidi also says she's a crabby cancer, feeling all the feels always and always. I understand. I am too. So is our friend Lois that just joined us. We're all cancers. You're surrounded by
Gemini,
us, Susan.
Aries rising. Don't worry, I'll put a fire into your ass. Uh,
But yeah,
it's
so the families are going through it right with you, whether you think that's true or not. And a lot of times these people that have addictions are self-medicating because there isn't help out there, because they were ashamed, because addictions come with shame. And when we carry that, or anybody carries that, how do they cope with it? A lot of times
exactly.
it's self-medication, and that's where a lot of these addictions come from.
Exactly. Now, if it's not psychological, let's say an individual's in severe pain, because a lot of like drug addictions will start this way. Say if somebody's in severe pain and a physician prescribes something that's addictive, I think, what do they call them? Opiates. And the other
Yep.
ones, what? Benzos.
Oh,
And
benzoates, I
yeah,
think is
there's
what it
another
is.
one too. There's another one too that the doctors prescribe. Now, because this, say somebody got into a severe accident or something and they're on these pain pills and they put them on these pills back then, they didn't know there was an issue for this. So not they have a physician, okay, a physician prescribing this that they become addicted to. Then they find out, and again, this is hypothetical. Then the doctor finds out, okay, this is addictive. We have to take you off. Now, that person kind of got used to that feel of the medication. The doctor cuts them off. What do you think they're going to do if they still require it to heal because they leaned on it too much? They're going to outsource and look some other place for it. But the physicians themselves, no offense, guys, need to take the responsibility of helping those individuals and weaning them down.
Yeah, they need to be weaned down slowly and see if there's other alternatives at that point.
Exactly.
You
Exactly.
can't just eat some of that stuff. It's physical at that point, and you can't. Um, it's a shock to their system. It can kill people.
Yeah, it actually
But,
can.
yeah.
Especially, I mean, I seen an individual, I mean, the pain level was unbearable, but
Hmm.
they weren't offering alternatives for him. They weren't offering any alternatives for the pain, so something like that can actually happen. Sometimes it's not something that stems from childhood. Sometimes the addiction or the alcohol is the only thing that'll
from
soothe
an
what's
accident or
actually happening.
something.
Yeah.
And
Um,
and nowadays they've swung so far the other way that they're just cutting people off of pain pills that actually really need it,
yeah,
and people are looking elsewhere, which could be extremely dangerous because you don't know what you're getting on the street.
exactly.
Um, yeah, the options are not as good as they used to be, but there is still help out there, and there still are doctors that'll listen to you.
Yeah, I can't read that.
Oh,
Sorry.
love this quote by Tupac. You can spend minutes, hours, days, weeks, or even months over analyzing a situation, trying to put the pieces together, justifying what could have, would have happened.
Mm.
Yeah, those would have, could have, should
And
have.
then she
And it says,
says,
or you can leave the pieces on the floor and move the FK on. I know I'll never figure out why people do what they do. I choose to leave the pieces on the floor.
mm,
And
yeah,
that's a really hard thing to do if you're watching somebody go through an addiction
yeah, it
and it's
it
someone
it
you
really
love.
is, but sometimes when you're on the outside, what's happening is you're getting tired of the routine. It's like I said, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make them drink. So the issue is how much, okay? We have the person that needs the help that has the addiction, whatever type it is. Then you have the individual who can only take so much more, but they have to keep themselves safe at the same time. Now, if this individual chooses to walk away because that's the best thing for them at the time, whatever the situation is, the individual here will all of a sudden blame blame a higher dose of addiction on the individual that
Right.
left because they didn't stand by them. So it's like
Yep.
a win-lose situation when you're dealing with something like this. I mean,
Yeah.
psychologically, the aspects of this are unbelievable. Now, let's take into account somebody who's a hoarder. What if somebody's a hoarder? They own a house. Okay. What happens when you put a lot of stuff outside in a city? You get rats. So,
And
everybody in the
in a city, a
neighborhood,
lot of times we'll see that and they can come
yes,
in and do something about it. But if they're hoarding inside the house,
yes,
and we're talking about the extreme people, I think the rats come in, there's dead animals and that they
yeah,
don't even know about that have been buried under piles of garbage. There's
yeah,
garbage and I can't they if nobody sees it, they will stop going out. They will stop inviting people to their house. Nobody sees what they're going through. Nobody
exactly,
sees what the evidence is.
exactly. It's a tough situation. People even get addicted to shopping. You can go broke by doing that as well.
I know a lady who took all her husband's and her 401k money and refurnished her entire house because of a shopping addiction.
Wow.
Yeah.
There's
So yeah, it
yeah.
can really hurt.
There's so many different types of addictions, and I know we've practically talked a whole half an hour, but like I said, this particular topic really needs to be heard because it's not always um it, it's not always the fault. Like, if it's a prescription that was dealt with you, yeah, okay, that's how it started, but you still have to take that responsibility for yourself. Like, individuals that hoard are causing the rats in the neighborhood, or somebody that's drinking alcohol nonstop and doesn't even realize it. I mean,
Mhm.
there's all kinds of stuff that happen. Because a lot of times they're not going to see what they're doing, and until they see themselves the real way they are, they're not going to notice what happens. So it takes a lot of strength for them to really look at themselves, and then they have to continually fight. So it's like,
Yep.
okay, they're not just going to get over this and it's going to go away. It's always going to be a part of them. So they need to find a way to communicate, to express, to not fall back on old habits, to try to hide or soft coat emotions, so to speak.
Yeah, the hidden stuff, and not dealing with those emotions, that is so detrimental in cases of addictions.
Yeah, it's really hard. So, but like I said, there are so many different types of addictions. What do we got going over here? And again, that's what we're talking about right now. We're talking about the aspect of understanding addiction. Now, I'm not claiming to be a professional. I'm a holistic counselor. We have a holistic. Oh my God, I'm having a bloody brain fart here, girl.
It's okay.
Hypnotherapist. Thank you. Wow. So, yes, we are here. We're here to talk and to open you up. Maybe we can lead you as you're listening to this in a more positive atmosphere. Maybe we can lead you into
Hmm.
understanding that, there is a way out of this.
Yeah, we're not able to treat you, but we can
Yeah.
certainly offer you doorways or where you can go
Yep.
for that kind of
So
supports.
that's
So this
exactly
is
it.
understanding addiction, a fact check guides, and at the bottom is a disclaimer saying if you need help, overdose, severe withdrawal, immediate change, self harm, contact the emergency room. You can always contact 211 or 911.
Yes.
The Narcon, they're saying to, and I just thought of this, they are saying it's good to have it on hand because it's not always the addict you have to worry about, but what if a child gets into somebody's medication? Having Narcon in your house can help them. What if somebody's walking by the house and they don't know that they got drugged up? Maybe
Yeah.
somebody put something in their drink. Like people that go out, they tell you to cover your drinks to make sure that, and keep them with you to make sure that you don't get that. You might need Narcon, or if we have it enough places, we can save lives.
Exactly. And here's another one, bartenders. I used to be a bartender many years ago, in my younger days, and if I felt somebody was too wobbly, I took their keys. You can argue all you want. Okay, I'll call you a cab. You're not driving home. And then I would tag their name to the keys and put them in the drawer for the owner. So this way somebody could come pick up the car the next day. But a lot of bartenders won't do that. They're too drunk. They're
Yep.
being belligerent. They just throw them out. That
Hmm.
causes an accident. But if you're the one serving the alcohol at the bar, you have to know when to call it. So the responsibility doesn't just lie in the individual drinking. Maybe they're having a good time and wasn't paying attention to how much they were drinking.
Yeah.
Never know. Maybe they were depressed and thought that could shoot up their confidence or whatever. But everybody needs to take that responsibility for those particular actions. Hello, Z Dragon.
Now I can't see
Yeah.
that.
I'll plop that up there. There we
Oh, now I
go.
can.
Z Sun Dragon.
Now I see Z. Hi.
All
So we
right.
go to
So
the
let's.
next page here.
Yep. There we go. Ah. Yeah, I can't see a word of this, by the way.
That's all right. So understanding or defining addiction, bio and psychosocial. So that's like a trifecta.
Yep.
It's a chronic treatable condition. Addiction involves a persistent difficulty in controlling substance use or behavior despite resulting harms. It is a health condition, not a moral failing or a lack of willpower.
Yep.
And I hope if you take anything away from this, that takes away all the shame that anybody should thinks they have to carry.
Exactly.
So biological could be genetic, vulnerability, and psychological changes in the brain's chemistry. Susan and I were talking earlier. It takes sometimes 7 generations to get those features or those I don't know, that's not the good word. Those characteristics of addiction out of a family.
Yeah.
Psychological, um, coping behaviors, learned behaviors, and mental health factors. And
Mhm.
social, environmental influences, social connections, and community support. Which socially, is a lot of people started drinking just because they wanted to be part of the crowd that their friends were going out to have a drink. So they decided, okay, I'm going to go too.
Smoking started the same way. You just wanted to
Yeah,
fit in, and now it ends up being addiction. I
right.
have some tech issues, storm brewing on the horizon. Okay,
Oh
Heidi.
dear.
But we know
May it
you're
pass
always
too
here, but
quickly.
that's it. It's working as biological, psychological, and social. And you have to remember it's an addiction. And if you're an individual who has successfully navigated through addiction, don't put yourself down. If that's who you were, it's not who you are.
Correct.
You have to let go of that saying, okay, I'm always an addict, or I'm an alcoholic. You're a surviving alcoholic, you're a
Right.
surviving addict, you're a surviving individual who's dealt with the shopping. In other words, try to look at it as a challenge. You had a challenge in your life, you beat the challenge, and you're still beating the challenge every day. If you can't do it right
Every day
day,
you're
do
standing.
it every hour. You can't do it every hour, do it minute by minute. And
That
just
is one of my
stick with that.
favorite coping things is
Yeah,
every day, if not a day, by the hour, by the minute, by the second. And
that's right.
sometimes you just have to go by the seconds.
Yeah.
But
There's nothing
yeah,
wrong with that.
and you can have one or all three of these. So
Yes, you can. And there's actually three different types of addiction that fit into certain categories. It's in one of these slides here, but I remember reading
look
that.
into it.
Ah, choose.
So the spectrum of control. Initial choice versus progression. We were talking about that earlier. While the initial use or engagement often involves choice, repeated exposure can progressively narrow the individual's control over that behavior.
Yes.
So the extreme avoiding extremes, not just bad choices, oversimplification ignores the biological environmental changes of in your body and your mind. Um, Chronic does not mean unchangeable or fixed, and that's true. Our bodies are remarkable at being able to heal, and our
Yeah.
bodies are also remarkable at being able to heal these things, even if it means that we go outside for support. So, achieving recovery, it's a dynamic process that's, come on,
Sorry, guys.
achievable
I
for
still can't see anything.
achievable for anyone when the right support systems are in place. Three core pillars: evidence-based care that gives you access to clinically proven treatments and medical guidance, and that's when you need medical treatment so that you don't die
Hmm.
going off of something and putting your body in shock. Social connections, meaningful relationships, and community integrations. Get out of the house, go out to have a meal with somebody. Even go if it's shopping's not your addiction. You could always go browsing in the stores. Just get out of the house and go somewhere. Um, Ongoing support, longitudinal resources to manage a chronic health condition. Your empowerment comes through combining personal steps with systematic safety and professional care.
Yeah, it does. And it's a hard situation to deal with. It's okay to ask for help. It really
Yeah,
is.
that's the really we've talked about this on other
Yeah.
shows too. Asking for help is it's one of the bravest things you can do,
Yeah.
and there is absolutely no shame in it. There is so many resources out there that you can get the help you need.
See, I like the term surviving. So if somebody like was an addict, you're a surviving addict because you're
I
fighting
like it too.
surviving alcoholism because you're a survivor of it. You're still surviving it every day.
Yep,
To
and
me,
each
that's
day is
different than somebody saying, I'm an addict. If you're an addict, then you have the issue and you're asking for help. And
I
that's the
like that
thing.
too.
People need to admit their problem, whether it's alcohol or drugs or food or shopping or smoking. You need to admit there is a problem first before you can even heal. Because if you're not admitting the issue or the problem, you're not going to have the strength to actually cope with it, because then you're saying to yourself, well, I don't have a problem, I don't understand what the issue
And
is,
you
everybody
keep
else has
hiding
got a
it.
problem. So what you're doing is you're hiding it, because there are different forms, even alcoholism. There's, like she was talking earlier, the weekend alcoholic. There's also functioning alcoholics, where they function every day and Nobody
They
even
go to
knows they're
work.
drinking. Nobody
Yep.
knows, and of course you get the belligerent drunks, which, I got a lot at the bars when I was bartending, but that's
Poor
to be
thing.
expected over there. You know, that really
Yeah.
is to be expected. So it's a whole situation is so difficult and so like people are afraid to step on each other's toes or bring these topics up. And I'm telling you, bring it up.
Yep.
Literally.
And I keep saying, yeah, bring these up at the dinner table, bring them up when you're out for coffee, bring them up everywhere you go, because these conversations are important and lives will be saved.
Here's another one. Do you know there's a sex addiction? Do you know
Oh
that
yeah.
a sex addict actually has a chemical imbalance in their brain that they seek out those endorphins that
Hmm.
happen during sexual intercourse in order to bring it back in? Those endorphins, they seek out that feeling.
Right. Right.
So that's you need to figure out the cause of what's occurring first in order to
And
figure
there's
out
there's
what's going on.
there's a lot now of research being done on different medications that can help with those things.
Yeah.
I'm not going to go into what they all are, but if you have talked to your doctor, they're coming up with new things and new treatments all the time that are helping with some of these addictive behaviors.
Yeah. And that's the thing. It's behaviors can be learned, yes. And then there is some people, can't teach an old dog new tricks? Yes, you can.
Yeah, yeah,
Can teach an old dog new tricks. I have.
yeah.
Really.
We're all capable of change.
Yeah, we are. It's you just have to believe in yourself enough. And that's what we're here for. We're here telling you that we believe in you. We believe that you all have the ability to help overcome whatever form of addiction you have. It doesn't
Yeah,
matter what it is. We have faith in you. Have faith in yourself. That's what
agree.
we're saying.
Yep.
Yes.
Leave the shame behind. Let it go.
Yeah, just forget it. Leave it there. Me, I get a little lazy because of my back issues. I admit that. I admit it.
Well, we all go. You're not alone. I mean,
Oh yeah.
we all go. We all
I'll
we
go
all do
through
that.
that. That's okay. I'm lazy sometimes.
I have do nothing days, and I'll
Oh
put them
yeah.
aside. If I wake up one day and I'm not feeling good, I'm fortunate enough here. The only heavy thing I have to do is take care of my grandson, and he's like self sufficient pretty much. But I will take extra naps. As soon as his parents get home, I'll go take another nap. But yeah, I have do nothing days. They're
Yeah,
not all do nothing days, but some days I do, and I don't have to apologize to it for it.
exactly.
So, substance use disorders, the clinical
Otherwise known as
framework.
suds.
This is from the DSM-5 TR, which uses the term substance use disorder. Now, this book, the DSM-5, they change all the time. So
Yes.
every couple of years they come out with a new one, and there's different things that they put in it. But it's used to capture a range of patterns of addiction, typically describing the severe end of this spectrum. So alcohol, she read off some of these already: cannabis, stimulants, hallucinogens, tobacco, nicotine, opioids, sedatives, hypnotics, and inhalants. So
Mm.
all of that stuff can cause addictions. That doesn't
But
mean they all will, but they can.
yeah, they can,
Um,
whether prescribed or, what sometimes prescribed use versus addiction.
yeah,
It still can become an
prescribed
addiction.
medication is directed at is not addiction, but clinical concerns arise when it becomes unsafe, compulsive, harmful, regardless of substance and originally obtained. So when I've had surgery, I just thought of this.
Yeah.
Um, they have given me some strong pain medicine to take home with me. They don't give me a lot, but it's usually enough for, I don't know, 3 to 5 days. And I have found that when I know when it's getting to be too much and I need to start weaning myself down from it, even before the doctor tells me, I will have certain things that come up. Like I will have bad dreams, or I will sleep more than I really think I should, even with the medication. And
Right.
so I've been fortunate in that I don't have a drug addiction, but I know when to get off of it. And so those kind of things, when you're on medication that's prescribed, probably a good conversation to have with your doctor on a regular basis.
Yes. Yeah, I agree with that because it can happen for many different reasons. Literally,
Right.
emergency surgery, you didn't know nothing about an accident, all kinds of things as far as prescription drugs.
Yeah.
You know, it really can.
So we've got common signs and clinical assessment. Observable patterns. This is what people can see, and you can see if you're looking at yourself clearly. Impaired control, using more or longer than was intended, and failed efforts to cut down. Like you just like have such a hard time not taking them.
Mm,
Um, resource drain, expensive time spent trying to obtain something or recovering from the effects of them.
yeah.
Does it take you 3 days to recover from something that you took? Um, continued use despite harm, persistent use despite knowing it causes or exasperates physical or psychological problems. Like you see things happening in your family, maybe
Mm,
when you're using. You may have physical symptoms. Like for me, that was falling asleep and having bad dreams. I mean, it's different for everybody. Intense cravings. You have a strong internal urge or desire to keep using that substance or engage in that behavior.
right.
And then social impairment would be failure to fulfill the major role obligations at work, school, or home. You may find your jobs affected. You may find your relationships are getting affected. You might find at school you're not able to keep up with your grades and your classes.
Exactly.
Those are all observable patterns. Clinical diagnosis requires a qualified clinician to perform a comprehensive evaluation, and they will focus on the entire pattern of behavior rather than one or two isolated incidences, and it will measure the degree of your functional impairment and associated risks.
Now, everything that is written in these slides was actually taken out of Psychology Today. I looked up on their website for information on addiction, just to let you guys know what.
Yeah, and some of the stuff that I sent over to was
Yep.
from clinical, real clinical places that study this
Yeah.
stuff.
So I took 2,000 words and tried to condense it down into what we have here.
This is what you got.
That's like I combined the two, and I told the chat thing. I said, okay, fix this, organize it. After it organized it, I put it in a slide. So just,
I love Chat GPT for organizing things.
it's like, fix this.
Yeah.
Oh, I guess Heidi's hearing some rumbling.
Oh, Heidi, our thoughts are with you. So the
Rumbling.
next one is on behavioral conditions and diagnosis distinctions.
Yes.
Things that are formally recognized are gambling disorders, gaming disorders.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're somebody or somebody who's on the computer doing games for the entire day, they may have an addiction problem.
Exactly.
Gambling, they're coming home and their whole paycheck's gone, and so they have no money for food or their rent.
Yep.
Those are extreme ones, but further research is needed. Internet gaming disorder is in the DMS-5. It looks like it's listed for further study to determine diagnostic criteria.
Yeah.
It's fairly new, probably within the last 10-15 years with the gaming.
Yep.
Caffeine use disorder. What's that?
Caffeine.
Oh, your coffee. I have a coffee every morning. I don't consider that.
That's like,
I like it. Diagnostic status remains under review for clinical.
Yeah.
Whatever that is. Inclusion. Okay.
Sorry, everything is a blur to me.
It's okay. Unestablished categories. We're getting through it. So food, shopping, social media, exercise behaviors can cause distress, but are not formal addiction diagnosis. That's kind of like, if you know somebody who's exercising, they have to exercise in the morning, they have to exercise in the afternoon, they got to exercise in the evening, and
Right.
they will exclude everything else so that they can just do that.
Pretty
Um,
much what it's saying is anything that is done to an excess is an
yeah.
addiction, is the way that I'm looking at it right now.
Yeah, is it interfering with something
Yeah.
else? Is it causing problems around
Right.
you?
See, I
Then
drink
there's
coffee to an excess, but it keeps me up and keeps other people safe, so it's not a problem, right?
I am not judging. I like my coffee in the morning. I sometimes will have two, but you know
About 4 a day. Uh, Impulsive
they're so
control
im-
disorders, yeah.
okay. So we've got compulsive sexual behavior, which Susan was talking about,
Yep,
kleptomania and pyromania. That's
yep,
stealing and
forgot
setting
about that.
fires.
Yep, forgot about
A,
those.
a diagnostic note here says the DMS-5 does not recognize sex or pornography addiction as formal diagnosis. Distinguishing these form from addictions is critical for care. And there are clinicians that actually specialize in these things as well.
Yeah, there has. I mean, look at Dr. Ruth. You remember
Oh, I
Dr.
loved
Ruth?
her.
Every
I loved
she
her.
is like so blunt and out there. I loved it. But to her,
Yep.
it was everything had to do with the sexual reason behind it. And
Hmm.
then Freud was everything was you loved
Mother.
your mom too much. I mean, it was just it goes from one to the other. So
Yeah, that's the trouble. Things
yeah.
that go from the treatments and stuff go from one extreme to the next, and then you got to have there's got to be a balance in there somewhere.
And this is where before we actually go any further on the slides, this is where I truly believe the government will pay for doctors, they'll pay for people writing prescriptions, but nobody wants to go back to the original way of getting your prescriptions. And like China, you can still go in there and get your herbacare and get the
Hmm.
herbs that you need in order to help you. So if the herbs are like non-addictive and they're unharmful and they're
Yep.
prescribed by a professional, it would help people a little bit more because there are mixtures in there for pain as well. But you have to have the
Yep.
right dose, because if you don't have the right dose, it can actually cause yourself, you can cause yourself harm.
Yep.
Like
And we
hibiscus
touched on
tea.
that. We
Hibiscus tea
t-
is great for pain.
Mhm.
Overtake it, not so good. But if they
Yeah.
had that regulated like they do the regular chemical ones, the chemicals, they'll
Yeah.
just like here, 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 here. But the moment you get something natural, they go,
Yeah.
no.
It has to be more acceptable and more, insurance companies should cover like herbologists because they're going to be a whole lot easier on your body and they can tell you what's going to be too
Exactly.
much.
I agree with that.
Shouldn't combine it with.
I really agree with that. I really think that they should. Let's see. Let's see. Dragon usually has 2 cups still on the first cup. Oh, I'm on my second. This is my idea of a cup. So just
You sip it. I'm a sipper, so mine
that's
lasts
iced
forever.
coffee. I have to have my hot
Yeah,
coffee in the morning and then an iced coffee in the afternoon when I'm doing
I
something.
like iced coffee.
Yeah. So
So,
there's so many different issues and things that are happening. Um,
should we go on or save the rest of them for next week and just keep talking?
we could just keep
We're,
talking if you want, and we'll go from 6 to 12 next week. So
yeah,
we're
I
gonna
think that
make
might be a
this
good idea.
yeah. We're not gonna rush this topic because this topic is too important to get individuals to understand that there is nothing wrong with you and there is
Right.
nothing wrong with asking for help. Okay.
I think that's the biggest thing is if we
Yeah.
could stress, ask for help.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe make that a mantra.
I agree. She just had her second cup of coffee. See, we're still on the coffee addiction.
Yeah.
You can go from caffeine to decaf, get a little bit of headaches, and boom, bang, boom, that's done. Just because you're having coffee doesn't mean it's caffeinated coffee. So
Right.
there's
Right.
all different kinds of coffee, but there's always a way. You have to want, like, say a smoker's been smoking for years. You have to want to quit. You have to want to cut down. So, and
And
that's
there are so many methods to help you quit
yeah.
smoking as well.
I'm down to 7 a day. That's all I smoke is 7 a day. I keep myself on a certain schedule, and then I throw my schedule off and start all over again when I decrease. So, but yeah, 7 cigarettes a day is not that bad. So, and I work down from quite a bit. So,
Yeah,
and
I have
it's just
smoked.
working on it. Yeah.
I have been on and off for years, but the last time, I consider that my permanent quit was like 2008.
Yeah.
The doctor came in, and this is how important good doctors can be, depending on how they say something. And I had just had surgery for my gallbladder, and she
Yeah.
said, "I want to ask you a favor. I want you to do me a favor. Will you do it?" And I said, "Well, that depends. What do you want me to do?" She goes, "I want you to stop smoking for 2 weeks." And I'm looked at her and I'm like, "I don't want to stop smoking. I had a lot of stress going on then."
Yeah.
And she said, "I didn't ask you to stop smoking. I asked you to not smoke for 2 weeks." And she wouldn't leave until I said yes. So I said, "Okay, 2 weeks." By the time the 2 weeks was over, the physical symptoms of the nicotine addiction were gone.
Yeah.
And I didn't feel the need to have it anymore. I switched. I chewed a lot of gum after that, but I have not touched a cigarette since then.
Yeah. The
All
first time,
because
yeah, the first time I quit, it was weird. I was just really tired one day, and I just woke up and decided I didn't want to smoke anymore, so I didn't. And that was
yeah,
it. That was absolutely it. Is there a private chat going on here?
I don't
Oh,
know.
yes, it says you're here.
Who's here?
You.
Oh, from this morning.
Yeah, and it's like, okay, it is here. So, as far as dealing with, let's go back over here. We'll do the rest of the slides next week is what we're going to do. But understanding, I mean, not just smoking and caffeine or alcohol, or even if you have, say, if you were in a relationship or have a child that
Mhm.
has one of the issues that are more severe, and you were on the outside looking in and you still haven't healed from it, it's okay for the family to ask for help too. To
Right.
understand, it's not that you're putting the blame on the individual who's going through it. You're just doing and working through things yourself to understand yourself better.
And yeah, and by asking for that help, you will find you're concentrating on yourself, which is what you can do the most of. You can't necessarily affect the addict, but you're
Exactly.
doing what you can for yourself, and the dynamics may change, and you will have better coping abilities just by doing that, because I know it's very stressful to watch somebody you love go through that.
Yeah, it is. You know, it's the same thing when you're watching a loved one, um when you're watching a loved one and you know that they're going to pass. You always pull the shoulda, coulda, woulda. I should have done
Hmm.
this. I wish I had done that. So there's a lot of things that you blame yourself for. And that's what the people or the individuals who are going through the addiction need to understand, that maybe, just maybe, the person on the outside looking in is blaming themselves, especially a
Right.
parent. Especially a parent will blame
Yeah.
themselves. Always. It's my fault. I did this wrong. I did that wrong. And that's what happens. They go and they blame themselves, and it's not their
And
fault.
a lot of times the addict will feed into that and say, "I'm doing this because you did this, I don't know, 15, 10 years ago."
Yep.
And so you have to learn, and therapy and counseling and going to a clinician outside will help you see that a little more clearly. So those voices from their addiction aren't what you're focusing on, and you aren't taking them into your own psyche.
That's one of the hardest things, is to separate their addiction speak from who they really are speak, because the person on the outside will have a tendency to absorb both.
Hmm.
They will absorb both. So it's, they have to learn to separate, heal, and forgive. because sometimes words can be extremely hurtful. It can
Yes.
totally change someone's demeanor of who they are, especially when they're dealing with this. And that's why sometimes it's a roller coaster ride to actually deal with an individual with this, even if it's a person that's hoarding. I mean, damn, I wouldn't want to walk through my house tripping on all kinds of stuff. You know,
Yeah, and these
like
these people are in
this.
pain. I think that's
Oh,
the thing you got to remember is
yeah,
they're in pain, and when people are in pain, any sort of pain, I don't even grief. I mean, they will lash out on other people, and they don't even realize sometimes what they're saying.
yeah,
And deep down, they probably don't mean it, but we take it into heart as family.
yeah. It's all about choices. You consider everything that you do an addiction. And okay, say if somebody's on a cholesterol pill, okay, to me, I consider something like that. I was on cholesterol meds for years, but one of the actual vitamins I was taking helped balance that off. So my cholesterol level just went down. So I don't take that anymore. So what I did was find alternative ways. But until you're in that mindset to try to find another way to actually do this, it's a difficult thing to do.
Yeah. So did you take that the cholesterol thing? Did you take one and go the other, or did you go completely off the medicine and then do the
They took me right
alternative?
off. I didn't need it. Yep, I went completely off. So, I mean, I don't know, I think it was only 20 milligrams or something.
Yeah, well,
It's
it's one
since I
less you have
started
to take.
taking my collagen, I'm taking collagen, which is
For
supposed
the
to help you,
cholesterol?
supposed to
Oh,
work
wow.
with. See, here is the thing. When a woman goes through menopause or a man reaches what my mother used to call male menopausal second childhood, as my mother used to call it, their second childhood,
Mhm.
your body, like men will get rid of testosterone, they'll start to lose that more rapidly. Women will lose their collagen. So what you need to do is you need to rebuild that in your system, especially after menopause. For women, you
Right.
lose that. Now if you're losing that, you're losing a lot of the other things that your body was used to. You become, without collagen, you become more painful, brittle nails, brittle hair. But a lot of the chemicals that were in your body, like you could eat anything and burn it off, and now you can't.
Yeah.
Okay, that has a lot to do with that. It's the amount of collagen. Like you have to take collagen one, and I think it's 1 and 2. Nope, 1 and 3. Only collagen, 1 and 3. 1 and 3
Mhm.
something is the ones that I needed to take. I didn't need to take this expensive multi collagen thing. I didn't need them
Right.
all. My body just needed those. And vice versa when you're dealing with a male situation. And it's not just about female testosterone. It's not just about their personal life. It's not just
Right.
about that. It also affects other things in this system. Without testosterone, male muscles, they seem to weaken. Faces are drawn, their skin starts to go in,
And
which
women need
does
some of that.
exactly. So, and that's why the two different collagen levels work, and then the extra testosterone for men help build them up. There's a lot of things besides skin, hair, and nails. It's not about
Mhm.
skin, hair, and nails when you're dealing with collagen. It's you. It's also
Yeah.
about your skin. It helps your skin as well. So these are all the elasticity in your skin. Because after remember, was it my grandmother? My grandmother had like see-through skin, literally. The crepey see-through
Yeah, I've
skin.
seen that. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
That's what my grandmother had. And it's like, okay, I know it's something that's going to be running in the family. So when I started researching it, was the collagen. I started taking the collagen and the omega-3, which helps. And, boom, there you go. I'm off the cholesterol. So it's weird,
Yay.
but I was already compensating for that. It's really weird. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, and some of these addictions, they could have started with some people because their bodies were trying to compensate. So your bodies are
Exactly.
so in tune. I know we got to hurry up here, but our
No,
bodies are so in tune with what they need that they will crave things. And if you do a little bit of research or if you talk to a clinician, you can find out that the thing you're craving, what a safe source of that will be instead of the addictive substance.
most people with addiction, I researched this, A little over 50% of this have a chemical imbalance in their brain that they are trying to compensate for. Now that's a little
There,
over 50%. So there's
yeah,
still other reasons, but that little over 50% is like, okay, there's a reason, there's a chemical imbalance. How do we fix
the
that?
the body knows, but we just
Yeah.
don't know yet how to fix
Mhm.
it.
I agree. Any last words, my friend?
Oh, I just can come join us next week to continue on this conversation. I think it's very important. Bring your questions. We'll take that. We're like, what's wrong with my mouth?
I don't know. My eyes, your mouth. Hey,
like,
either way, we're a
like,
perfect person
like,
together.
like Susan said, we are going to take our time through this topic. So
Yeah.
even if it takes more than two, we'll stick with it.
Yeah. We're going to be here for you. So please tune in. Same back time, same back channel.
That
I don't
channel.
I used to watch Batman before I went to school
Oh,
as a
I
kid.
loved it.
I remember that.
I was gonna marry
Boom! And you
Batman.
see the boom coming on the screen, back then. Yes, I'm old and I'm cool with it. So, literally nothing would shock us. We're not going to put you down at any way, shape, or form.
Right.
That's not why we're here. We're here just to bring understanding and enlightenment for those individuals that need to say, okay, maybe I do have an issue. Maybe I do need to take a step back. Maybe there is another reason. Okay,
Right.
stop blaming yourself and saying this is just how it's going to be. That's all I
Yeah,
can say.
I will just reiterate what she just said. We are not here to judge you, but we are here to help.
Yeah, that's what we're here about. Let's see. Dragon said, interesting topics. I smoke, but I am not on meds. Pick your poison, I guess. I smoke and I drink coffee, so I'm not perfect either. But, we are just here to help with as many of the tough topics that individuals need to hear about. And that's what this show is about. Your cosmic cushion. We're your cushion. Throw it on us. We'll figure it out.
Yeah.
We'll help you out. If we don't know, we'll research it for you.
Yeah, and yeah. You're always welcome to reach out to either of us.
Yes. Okay. I can say peace out, but my hands are actually touching the desk, so I don't do the thing.
Thank you.
There you go.
Thank you for being here.
Namaste. I can say that too. All right. See you guys next week, or
Bye, everybody.
I'll see you Saturday for readings. Bye.
Yay! Don't miss Susan.